Swabat? Students will be able to determine volume of a solid object.
Rectangular prism. Cubic unit.
Now, cubic unit is different than what we've talked about in the past. With area and surface area, what kind of unit did we talk about? Devin? Unit square or square units. So we would square them, which would mean you put that 2, which indicated a square unit. We now have cubic units. When you hear cube, you're going to think of 3. And
volume. How do you find the volume of a prism? Think about this question during the lesson. Volume is a measure of the space inside a solid figure and is measured in cubic units.
so it's how many of those cubic units would it take to fill that rectangular prism?
A cubic unit is the volume of a cube measuring 1 unit on each edge. Each cube equals 1 cubic unit.
What are some examples of what that cubic unit could be? If we replace the word unit, what could we replace it with? Corinne? A unit of measurement. So give me an example. Centimeters. So we could say that that is 1 cubic centimeter, right? What else? Hope? She said centimeters. What else could it be? What? Inches. It could be 1 cubic inch. That means that the length, the width, and the height of that cube is 1 inch on all sides. So it's a cubic inch. Okay, any others? Braxton? A cubic foot, right. So that would mean that 1 cubic foot would mean that cube is 1 foot on every side. Okay? And when we're looking at how many cubic feet, how many cubic centimeters or inches, how many of those could you fit into an object?
Look at the image of the cube that is 1 inch on each edge. What is the volume of a cube that measures 1 inch on each edge?
So if that cube is 1 inch on every edge, what is the volume of that cube? Claire? 1. What kind of inch? Cubic, yeah, 1 cubic inch.
The volume of a cube that measures 1 inch on each edge is 1 cubic inch. Apply the idea of 1 cubic unit to determine the volume of the rectangular prism.
Okay, if we looked at that rectangular prism, could we determine how many cubic inches it is? Corinne?
Yes, and I know the answer.
Okay.
30 units.
Okay, so how did you decide that?
So you count the side, like I count from side to side, I count 2 sides, and so I got 5 and 5, like 5 and 5. No, I got it wrong.
Okay, so you counted how many cubes were on this side?
And then 5 should be 30.
Okay, so 4 cubes on this side, so right here it's 4 cubes. one other measurement. Who knows what it is, Braxton? The height. So how many cubes, oops, what happened there? How many cubes high? 2. So now we have the length, the width, and the height. We could take 5 times 4 times 2, because we have the length times the width times the height. We're kind of ahead of the video, but that's okay. You guys are seeing that this is what we could do. Is there any other way, if we took all of these cubes, that we could figure this out? We know that each of these is 1 cubic unit.
6 or 10 on each side. All
We could count them. We could count like the layers. We know there's 2 layers. How many cubes are on the top? How many on the bottom? We know there's 5 here, and there's 4 rows, so that's 20. And then there's 20 on the bottom. So 20 and 20, we know there would be 40. Is that what we would get here? 5 times 4 is 20, times 2 is 40. Okay?
You're in Jaws.
Yeah, I know.
If the cubic units are shown, you can count the cubes inside the rectangular prism. Begin with the base layer of the prism. How many cubes are in each row?
And we determined how many in each row. There are 4, or 5 in each row, sorry.
There are 5 cubes in each row. How many rows are there?
Austin? 4.
There are 4 rows. The base of this rectangular prism has 5 cubes each in 4 rows. So there are 20 cubic units in the base layer of the prism. There are 2 layers. When you add the top layer, what will the total number of cubes be?
And we already determined that. What is it? The top layer would be also 20.
There will be 40 units when we add the top layer. 20 cubes times 2 layers equals 40 cubic units. Why do you multiply the number of cubes in one layer by 2?
Why did we multiply by 2? Dylan Allen?
Because there's 2 layers.
Yeah, because there's 2 layers, so that would be the height of it is 2.
You need to multiply one layer by 2 because there are 2 layers. Since the measures are in inches, the volume of the rectangular prism equals 40 cubic inches. Now you know how to find the volume of a rectangular prism. What would the volume of a rectangular prism be if it had 3 layers rather than 2? Try it yourself.
Let's do that one. So now it's 3 layers rather than 2. So it's not, the height is not 2 anymore. What is the height? What? 3. 3 inches, right? Okay. So let's use the formula. Volume equals length times width times height. Volume equals, what is the length? 5. What is the width? Aiden? 4. And what is the height? Bella? 3. Changed it to 3. Okay, so now we can multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 times 3 is 60. 60 what? Say it again. they showed you where they wrote the word cubic out. And then inches. You could also write